Hi, Brenton here from Effortless Swimming. This is Feedback Friday number 15, where each week we bring you the analysis of someone's stroke so that we can help you better understand what we like to look for and how we go about making changes to swimmers' technique. Now, in this video today, one of the main things I want to talk about is the swimmer's body position. Because obviously you can see here, if we can get the hips and the heels a little bit higher in the water, get horizontal, it's going to make a big difference. It's going to make it so much easier to maintain a faster pace, because that reduction in drag and frontal resistance that's created from on the thighs and the hips and the legs, that's going to make it very difficult to maintain a fast pace. So that's what we'll look at here today. And often the way I look at what's causing that, we look at a few things. So first of all, one of the things I look at is head position. And you can see here with the head position, he's not looking too far forwards. So he's not looking way out in front, which can sometimes cause the lower half of the body to drop. So we look at head position and go, okay, so that's not causing it. We look at the breathing. Is the swimmer holding their breath, or are they exhaling constantly? And you can see here, again, exhalation constantly throughout the stroke. All right, which looks pretty good. Then we look at the breathing, so turning side to side. How far is the swimmer looking up? Are they looking straight to the side, which is what we want, or are they looking up almost to the ceiling and lifting their head? And you can see that, especially on this right-hand side. There. Notice how we haven't got the top view, but you can see how the eyes are probably looking somewhere up quite high, and he's turned his shoulders and his hips almost to 90 degrees. So that's the first thing we can see that will be contributing to the legs dropping there, is probably just breathing too high instead of looking straight to the side, which is causing a bit of over rotation through the shoulders and the hips. So that's one thing that we want to look at. Then we look at the kick. And so with the kick, a couple of things that we look for here. We want to see essentially a bit of activation through the core. We want to see the legs to be, for the most part, straight through the hip here. So we don't want the legs to be sitting down too low in the water. So we want a sort of fairly straight line through here. We don't want the legs dropping down. So you can see, all right, he may not be activating his core enough, using his glute medius to initiate the up kick, and probably not keeping the knees close enough together. So that's another thing that we tend to look for, is how far apart are the thighs and the knees. And you can see here, especially on that side there, okay, legs here are just coming a bit far apart. So that's probably something else that's contributing to the legs sitting low. And I mentioned this in the last video, the Feedback Friday number 14, that a good way to start to get a feeling for keeping from basically your chest down through your core and your hips and your legs, keeping that quite compact, quite straight. A good way to do that is just put a kickboard between your legs, almost like you use it as a pull buoy. And because it's quite narrow and thin, that really gets you to activate the muscles that you need to activate. Keep nice and straight through there to be able to get the sensation, get the feeling for what it should be like when you're swimming. So that's another thing that's possibly causing that. The other thing, and probably one of the biggest contributing factors, is what's happening in the pool here. So let's have a look at the pool. So first thing we look at here is the entry. We want the fingertips to be going in first. And you can see there, maybe overreaching a little bit on the entry. So the elbow maybe just going in first before the fingers. In the extension part of the stroke, you can see early on that the fingertips are just a little bit high there. So the fingertips are above the wrist is above the elbow. So the ideal position that we want is just almost the opposite to that. We want fingers below wrist, wrist below elbow in a slight downwards position. Here, all right, this is looking pretty good. Starting to set up the catch better now. Fingertips are tipping down. And that position with the arm is not too bad. I mean, obviously it can improve. And if let me just draw a line here. All right, so if we were to draw a line and sort of show where an Olympic swimmer is going to be, all right, an Olympic swimmer is going to be somewhere around here. So this elbow will be a little bit higher, a little bit more forwards. The forearm, the hand will be pressing more back on the water instead of pressing down. So there's absolutely room for improvement there, and it's the same with most people. But the left arm not pulling through too badly, at least from the side there. On the right side, this is where I think if we can make some adjustments out in front, this will help a lot. So you can see the fingertips going first there, which is good. Maybe a bit too close to the head. You can see it's just in front of the head, so probably just coming in very close there. Then as he reaches and extends out in front, not a bad position to start the catch in, but you can see how the elbow is not reaching out enough. This elbow is sitting a little bit low, just needs to reach out a bit more with that arm. But this is what's causing a big part of the legs to drop. See how the fingertips tip down, but notice where the forearm's facing, straight down. So any sort of pressure that's being applied with the forearm, that's pushing down, which is keeping the head and the torso nice and high. But if that gets sort of held up too high from pushing down with the forearm there, it's going to cause the legs to drop, which is just happening there. So what I'd recommend on that side is just going a little bit deeper with the right arm. I'll show you from the front view here. All right, so if we cut to the front view here, you can see on that right side, all right, see that angle with the arm? Angle's about 80 degrees if we were to measure that. And when we look from the front, we want it to be between 100 and 120 degrees in that phase of the stroke. And we want the fingertips to be facing down. So you can see the elbows kind of facing down, fingertips are off to the side. We want this to come out quite a bit wider. So where we want to be, somewhere out here, right, in that position. In that position, he's going to be able to engage his lats a whole lot better. He's going to be pressing back on the water much more than he is at the moment. So let's just watch that for a moment. All right, we'll go through that again. So you can see with the left side, that position with the arm, not too bad as he's coming through. You will notice that the left shoulder here, probably, at least on a few strokes, especially when he's breathing, probably just, it's a little bit low. So he's not abducting this shoulder enough to keep it up near the side of the face that we talk quite a bit about in a lot of the videos. And it's just causing, the fingertips to come off to the side. So again, probably just want to come out a little bit wider with that arm. And then this right side, that's the one that's not going deep enough. So we want to get the hand a bit deeper and out wider. So there's a number of different drills and sort of ways I'd go about making those couple of changes to the stroke. And I'd probably focus initially on getting the breathing right and getting the body position right with an adjustment in posture before working on the catch. So I like to kind of go step by step and follow the process that we sort of lay out in our membership and when we run camps and at clinics. So follow the step-by-step process. We don't want to start straight away with the catch here. While it can certainly help, I'd look at adjusting or getting the breathing right first, getting the posture right. Then it's going to make the catch a whole lot easier. So that's why I'd probably approach it slightly differently. And the way I'd probably recommend you go about that would be to go through the drills that I'd recommend for him, do them in the warm-up every time he swims for at least 3 or 4 weeks. Then we'd film it again, we'd look at it, and then we would look at, all right, has he made those changes? Yes. All right, let's look at what else to focus on. If not, we'll keep practicing those couple of drills. Maybe we change up the drills so that he gets the breathing right, gets the posture right, and then go from there. So it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. You've got to follow the process, and you've got to know that it is going to take a while to make this stuff automatic and then to be able to swim fast with it, be able to maintain it under pressure, under fatigue, and all that sort of stuff. So that's how I'd probably analyze that video. And if this is something that you enjoy and you find helpful, we're running a camp in Hawaii at the end of March. So you can go to our website at effortlessswimming.com, or there's a link below about our Hawaii camp where I'm going to take 12 swimmers to Hawaii, and we're going to do underwater filming and analysis every day. Plus a whole bunch of other stuff, basically just to help you swim faster, get your technique sorted, and give you some structure around how you can go about racing better and swimming better. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I appreciate your support of the Effortless Swimming YouTube channel. Thanks, guys.